And welcome live from Skokie, Illinois. It's the second game of the day for both ends of the ice. Chicago North is taking on your Glenbrook South Titans here on the South Hockey Network. We welcome you in. It's Gerard Boris, the same old producer. This is not the same old voice you typically hear. Usually Dylan Ward, who's up in West Bend, Wisconsin as we speak, and will be tomorrow. My name's Luke Jordan. You might have heard me before. I'll be taking you through tonight's matchup and the next one tomorrow against York. Looking forward to some action-packed hockey here in the state with the O'Grady Cup on the line. As Glenbrook South coming off a blanking victory of Bennett earlier today, 4-0 over the defending runner-up Red Wings, who had a great year last year. On the other end for Chicago North, they started off on the wrong foot. And not only at that, but they lost 7-2 to York. A running clock at the end of that one over at the Robert Crown Community Center. And as of recent here's a look at a couple recent scores. Loyola defeats Evanston 5-1, the hosts of this 54th annual tournament. Notre Dame beats Brother Rice 6-3. New Trier, we just saw on this very ice, win 5-0 over Maine. Fenwick downs Providence. And then from then on, the earlier games today, GBS beating Bennett, York beating Chicago North, GBN beating New Trier Blue, Ignatius over OPRF, Fenwick over Evanston, Loyola over Providence, Maine over Brother Rice, and New Trier Green over Notre Dame. Those are all the results we've seen up to this point today. And we'll see what comes out of this one. Teddy McCrulis for GBS with a 2-goal game earlier. He was one of the main pieces in that Titan victory coming off of Wednesday's loss against GBN. A game that they came back from down 2-0, eventually brought things at 3-3. Still able to earn a point out of overtime. Their SHL record moved to 7-5-2. Over in the North Central for Chicago North, they're 8-5-1. Not a bad offense at all. And we'll see what they can put on the ice against another SHL foe. A ridiculously tough Pool D is ready to begin another battle. And it's underway. Glenbrook South wins the opening faceoff. It's Kosmeter wide of the net. Wearing the Wednesday revealed uniforms for GBS, the baby blue shoulders, navy numbers, gold outlines. As the puck worked right through past Mulvey at the point. Ryan Mulvey, the fourth-year varsity player, puts that one off the crossbar. Well, that's an early test for Owen Doubledinger. And down below the net, it's battled up to the far side wall. Will Fagan taken away and cleared out of there. Niesel is racing after it, but he will never get there in time as we head back to the north defensive zone. Interesting shot. Yeah, it hit a part of Doubledinger and then off the crossbar. I guess that's a shot to get you going in this game. That face-off drawn out of the zone. Doubledinger comes out of his crease. Two goalies that have seen significant stat increases for Chicago North from the start of the season. Here comes Ian Donahoe. He's a man to watch out for North. Returning player that was a league all-star last year. Here comes Teddy McCrulis. McCrulis left side of the ice will dart into the far corner. Out in front. A quick handle from Weiss. Now McCrulis takes two down into the corner. Boris on a centering attempt is eventually worked up to the blue line and kept in by the former Falcon and Luke Fagan. Dukowicz goes up to the boards. Logan Demas is able to settle it down, fire it ahead. Here's a chance for Sapola one-on-one. Sapola crashing, cannot pull it to the forehead. Jacob Sapola with not a bad chance whatsoever early on for North. Both teams rocking the baby blue shoulders today. It's North in the all black other than that practically. And GBS, the baby blue pant shells, white socks. Sky blue. All right. Tomato, tomato, right? Gerard Boris getting me fact checked. He knows better than me. Wilk will throw it around the wall. Basically, if you lose this one for Chicago North, you are 100% eliminated from this tough pool. If you're able to get to 1-1, anything can happen. You've got GBS and York tomorrow. That could be a huge deciding game on who comes out of this pool. We'll have that action here for you on the South Hockey Network. Cannot wait. But first, South has to get by this one. Saw on the ice just before this as New Trier took on Maine. That's another SHL versus non-SHL foe type matchup that took a while to find its first goal. Feeling out that same sort of energy here as it's kicked out of there by the sophomore starting netminder, Thomas Preston. Or actually, no, sorry, I want to say that's Isaac Bunnell. And yes, that is. Bunnell gets the start today. I thought I saw 41. It's tough to see the numbers up here on his shoulder. Confirm that in a moment, the puck on the goal line. And yes, it is Bunnell. Back out in front. It falls through to Tubuchanik. Graham Vanderplug will have to track back. Will Fagan goes across ice. Where's brother Luke? Check on Graham Vanderplug as the puck swung around the wall. Will Fagan down below his own net. Will try to zip it up into center. Pass Makrulik. Roganovic regains for Chicago North. A national rower, Luka Roganovic is for Chicago North. Interesting story he has. Third season with Chicago North in their varsity team. But he wants to go be a collegiate rower after all this. Cosmeter. I mean, I guess it is just frozen water out here. And that pass is past great angler for an icing. 12:44 to go. Bunnell and Dumbledinger, the starting goaltenders, with no true tests yet. A bit of a scrum out in front of Bunnell on the previous possession, but nobody there to tap it home for Chicago North. Dumbledinger's stats as the Chicago North backup, a 3.66 goals allowed average and an 844 save percentage. Has jumped up to the varsity team after being on the JV1 team last year. Dumbledinger has. Not something you usually see, because Chicago North with a varsity 2 team that also plays in the IHSHL North Central, just of course a lower division. Peace goes ahead for Dangler, and he'll swing it in and around. Niesel chasing on Fagan. Checks him into the boards. Now it is Asher Vanderplug. Up ahead, Makrulis with a chance. He'll open up, find Vanderplug, settling and fanning on the shot. Both Vanderplug brothers on the board in Wednesday's game. 2 of the 3 for GBS, as Dangler with a takeaway down low. Sapola finds it in his feet, and Cosmeter drags it down. Sapola out of his own end. Chicago North desperately needing a change on the forward line, which creates space on the side. Luke Fagan entering. Fagan chips it out in front. It's Cosmeter. On a backhand try, that got blocked. Up top, Fagan center. Blue line unleashes one. That's denied by Dumbledinger. With the black Chicago North pads, he's got the logo on the left one, with the Chicago flag spanning across both. One of the better pad setups in the state, quite honestly. Those are fairly new. I saw Dumbledinger play back at Allstate Arena just about a month ago. Mendoza takes it off the draw. Dumbledinger makes the save. Boris has this one bank around, and Weiss almost collected near side and scored. He takes a high hit. I mean, that's head contact if I've ever seen it. We'll play on. Donahoe the other direction. Boris recovers. And now Ventura to the side for Jonah Weiss. Backhands it across, steered out of there by Dummeldinger. Dimas is just able to get it past the blue line. It's fired right back in. No change from south. They go right back into chase. A quick stretch up center to Dimas, who's tangled up, getting an extra check from Pinto as the puck is now battled in past the near circle. In the zone of the Titans. Mendoza looking to go across ice. It's taken away. Now Zach Boris with space. Boris will pummel ahead. Find Weiss. Down the boards. Boris going to chase. Works past Sullivan. Lays a check on Petreka. And now it's Tubuchanik trying to dig it loose. Comes right out to Patrick Wilk. Wilk goes ahead. And Jurgeli gets it in deep. Wilk now past Jurgeli. And up the far side wall, it's Mendoza out of there. Icing call. It's been a chaotic last couple of years for Chicago North. Runner-ups in 2023, 2024, state semifinalists, 2025 out in the combined division. They lost in overtime to Prep in 2023 at the UC. Then the next year they lost to the Warriors of Wabanzi at that time before they changed to just simply Warriors Hockey Club. And then last year they lost to a very similar roster, just a different named club, in triple overtime in the semifinals. SHL Network carried that broadcast. We've been there for all of those games and what have been some of the most insane games some of us have ever called. Sokol goes across ice for Graham Vanderplug. Vanderplug with space and a good save from Dummeldinger. Graham Vanderplug left plenty of room to roam, and Dummeldinger stands strong. Sokol trying to dig it out in the corner. Down for Graham Vanderplug. The sophomore with the centering feed intercepted. And it's now sent ahead. Max Gilbolina taken away. Turning back on it now is Niesel for Dukowitz. Dangler will chip in. Fagan. A nice reverse hit down low on Dangler. But eventually Dangler will try to center. Kosmeter. The junior coming from AAA. Will look to swing it back for Tutai. Instead, it's Niesel the other direction. Up the far side, Jake Peace. Going back for Michael Niesel. He's nudged off the puck at the blue line by Luke Fagan, leaving Pinto to chip it in. As Dukowitz tracks back. Pretty even play so far. If anything, a little bit more time in this end. Controlled by Glenbrook South. Chicago North has been pretty fluent and quick with their opportunities, but unable to find one yet. Asher Vanderplug goes across at the blue line, close to offsides, and North will get out of there. Finley Gutierrez. Now Dimas. We'll go chasing after Fagan. Chicago North looking for that opening win here in Pool D. Asher Vanderplug swipes it out in front. Slot chance. Kosmeter slides it wide. Now it's Boris controlling up top. Look to be sent back down the wall, but Ian Donahoe read it like a book. The captain of Chicago North fires in. He'll get some help from Dimas here on the forecheck, just straight up beating Fagan to the puck. And that's Luke Fagan. Walter Marsh now carries in. Marsh into the slot, and a save by Bunnell, who gloves it down. Impressive year last year here at the O'Grady for Chicago North. Beat York's Varsity 2 6-1, Providence Catholic 5-4. Or actually, that might have been York's varsity one as far as I remember. But either way, they were able to smack the Dukes. And they just lost by 1 to GBN. That would have been the game to win them Pool B, as Wilk is able to fan one out. Easy save for Bunnell, who hangs on. Thomas Preston has played every SHL minute up to this point. As here's Jurgely with a save from Bunnell. Marsh is able to hold the zone. Now getting scathed against the wall by Makrulis. Jurgely comes out of the pile. Captain Mulvey to the north blue line. And now Wilk turns ahead with speed. Sullivan. He'll track into the corner. Sullivan, patient, dangles inside. Left it behind Marsh. Point fire, save from Bunnell. Been a lot of these composed saves from Bunnell so far. Chicago North just trying to get any rebound to get coughed up to this point, but when you're seeing the puck all the way through like this for Isaac Bunnell, it's going to be difficult. Shots currently even at 5. Here comes Pinto. Or sorry, that's Ventura. Jackson Ventura. Will turn to the side, bank it off the boards. Up top, Will Fagan, bouncing right to the back door. Graham Vanderplug was looking ahead. Vanderplug now slid inside for Ventura. Will Fagan protects by 1. Gilbolina still all over him. A 2-on-2 board battle just above the top of the circles, won by North. Chipped in by Bergstrom. Now Roganovic from the hash marks, looking back door, bouncing all over. Roganovic regains. And now it's Peace. Peace bouncing around, save Bunnell, rebounds there, and they score! Max Bergstrom scores the opening goal here. And Chicago North is out in front in a tournament as of recent for GBS that they have just historically struggled in. Of course, you get the win earlier, but I mean, look at last year. You beat OPRF by 1, lost to New Trier Blue by 1, lost to St. Ignatius by 5, or -5 in the tournament for GBS. And they're trying not to find their ways down that rabbit hole once again. You can say what you want, Isaac Bunnell or Thomas Preston, that is an impossible save to make on a backdoor rebound, left uncovered. And Chicago North strikes first. 2-tie. Up ahead for Vanderplug, now Ryan Mulvey. Ryan Mulvey looks for Asher, fired it right over, sticking on net as a shot. It's Niesel the other way. Niesel, left-handed shooter, opens up and strikes it wide. Sapola regains, pad save Bunnell. Cosmeter nearly had a chance to shoot up ice there. Now Asher Vanderplug is tied up with Dangler down on the hash mark. Dukowitz from the point, saved by Bunnell. Anthony Bertuca with some positive words for the Chicago North Skaters coming off. His first year as head coach here. Kevin Dole, a former NHLer, is the assistant coach. Played with the Thrashers in the AHL with the Wolves. Sapola will wing around the net. Back in front right there for Damas. And nearly a 2-0 game. Sapola up to the point now. Petraka towards net. And now settled down by a speedy Jonah Weiss, who takes it up ice. Weiss utilizing his wheels to work down in the corner. Or checks Petraka, who slid it up the wall. DeMoss now at his own blue line, left it behind for Walter Marsh. Goes crashing in to Luke Fagan. Mendoza. Boris now left it behind. Mendoza again for Weiss, turning the other way. Braden Mendoza for Boris, sliding it off the side of the net. He'll take a check from Marsh into the boards. And now it's swung ahead for Ian Donahoe. Donahoe's pass falls right through the slot. Nobody there. Boris surveys the ice up ahead and slides it across for Jonah Weiss. Weiss, his shot blocked. Now Boris communicates with McCrulis, who's got 2 goals today already, and that victory against Bennett. They go domino affecting in down below the goal line as 2 Titans fall. And a good fight from Weiss, but it's eventually worked out to the red line by Chicago North. 2 of the 3 forwards changing in the midst of this breakout for North, and plenty more fresh legs for GBS here. Graham Vanderploeg, one of them with the takeaway. In front of the GBS bench, Jim Philbin wants a hit from behind, will not get one there. Definitely seems we could have had the first power play chance of the game for either side. 2:05 to go in the first. It's still a 1-0 lead for Chicago North. And it's worked to Dukowitz for Chicago North. Chergely behind for Nolan Dukowitz. Wilk trying to get it out of there. It's taken away. Graham Vanderploeg hit by Connor Sullivan. A beautiful pass out of the zone. It's Sullivan down the right side, just completely loses his handle, but freight trains over the very physical Will Fagan. Fagan now regains, and here he comes. Back and forth we have gone in these last couple minutes. And now a backtracking from Tubuchanik. Finds Graham Vanderploeg, now for Will Fagan. Tipped in by Ventura. He'll lay a bit of a boom on Gutierrez, but it's still North possessing the puck. Will Fagan. Off the wall. They rely on the chase here at Glenbrook South. Tubuchanik forces it around the boards. Under a minute to go in the first. And Chicago North trying to hang on to what could be a first period lead. Sharp angle shot by Asher Vanderploeg. Came back out, but nothing occurs. Fought for in the neutral zone. Gil Belina, stick lifted by Asher Vanderploeg, but still able to chip in. Luke Fagan laying a nice hit there on Gil Belina, but offsides deemed with 38.8. One cause meter at the red line. Marsh tracks back in. Charlie Marsh, and that's off the technically out of play part of the glass. We'll go back into the Chicago North end. Dummeldinger has not been tested in a while. Really, in the second half of this first period, he's faced 1 shot. And North handling the shots on goal so far, 11-6. Face-off win for Chicago North, but Cosmeter takes it, eventually looking for Asher Vanderploeg in the high slot. Couldn't find him. 15 to go here in period number 1. Mulvey takes a check, works it up the wall. It's past Cosmeter. Charlie Marsh over the blue line. Marsh crashing, puts it backside. Almost a valuable chance for Jake Peace. Final seconds trimmed down in the first, and GBS finds themselves trailing at the moment. A lengthy applause from Chicago North fans. They all come out to give support to Owen Dummeldinger, who's kept the door slammed on one of the better teams in the state right now. And at some point of the season, on my hockey rankings, GBS has been the #1 team. One goal of this game so far scored by Max Bergstrom. Primary assist goes to Edward Washuk, and Jake Peace got the secondary. Oh, don't worry. Leave the shots as is. We had this problem earlier. Don't worry. They're missing a couple down there, so whatever we got up here seems to be more official. No need to second guess from our great crew up top. Center bleachers here at the Stadium Ice Arena. I think for Glenbrook South in their broadcasting history, this is their first ever game broadcasted here. Really never a common occurrence to be here unless it's here in this tournament. Home of the Skokie Flyers. Not too much else. Actually, Mike Brown, who played for the Skokie Flyers back from 92 to 97, ended up an NHL player. Played for Vancouver, Anaheim, Toronto, Edmonton, San Jose, Montreal. One of those journeymen. Got a former NHLer on the Chicago North bench, the Saskatoon native, and Kevin Dole, as we mentioned. And here we go on period number 2. Puck quickly dropped before everybody really gets a chance to settle. Sapola rocked at the blue line, but look at this chance. DeMoss with Merkoulis now stuck to him like glue. Chipped up the wall by Asher Vanderploeg. It sneaks by him, a chance for Donahoe, wide open chance, backdoor. And the net comes off, some palms up from Chicago North. Get a look at it here. Early opportunity to double the lead for the underdogs. Mulvey has to slide over. And that is one you're gonna want back if you're Jacob Sapola. Had everything but the shot. Asher Vanderploeg down to his knees off the faceoff. He'll try to chip it out, but can't do such. Point shot wide of the net. Bunnell might have gotten a piece. It's sent right back through there, but wide for real this time. Asher Vanderploeg stops on a dime. Looks to zip it up ice. He had Merkoulis at the far blue line. Instead it bounces around. Sullivan trying to bring it in. Luke Fagan turns away from him as he whips it up the far side. Kosmeter takes a stretch pass. Owen Kosmeter waiting. Could not get a shot on. Pops out to Asher Vanderploeg. And a great save by Owen Doubledigger. Luke Fagan now on the follow-up wide of the net. And Wilt clears. You can change in this type of scenario anyway, and Chicago North will take advantage of that. A great chance here. Here's the opening 2-on-1. Kosmeter elected to fire, but look what it pops right out into. And it's Vanderploeg just stonewalled. Get a much better look from this angle as well. Watch Doubledigger come out last second. And that's actually just straight off the pipe. Couldn't really hear it from here. Loose around in the slot. Weiss now goes to battle on the far hash. Zach Boris with 2 black sweaters on him. Mendoza holds. Point shot. Save Doubledigger. And a rebound tease, but not much more. Got Bryce Dickey in the comment section. Duh, Bears. Darn right. What a game against the Philadelphia Eagles. They're 9-3. I would not have predicted that, to say the least. And I'm a pretty optimistic Bears fan, but even with the completion percentage Caleb Williams has been having, it's been pretty darn low, especially today from what I saw. His team is still finding a way. I think Caleb's still that guy. It's not, get it twisted. I'm a Caleb supporter. Pinto has to back out. Bryce Dickey also, as he said there, said good-looking jerseys. I'll tell you what, in my opinion, definitely is biased as well. That sky blue, really on both jerseys, is my favorite shade of color. And there's plenty of it in this jersey battle here. Speaking of, I wonder where these GBS jerseys will end up on this year's jersey battle. That's hosted by Dylan Ward and the SHL Instagram. Don't forget, if you want your chat to pop up on the broadcast like that, it's so cool. Really cool. Make sure you leave something down below in the live chat. Love to answer it. Always plenty of airtime between these types of whistles to do such. And we'll line it up to the left of Bunnell. Not a bad game for Isaac. He's still stopped 10 out of 11 so far. Graham Vanderplug's collided with. Chicago North is without a shot so far in this period. Granted, we haven't played 3 minutes yet, but GBS on the other end has had a look. And also one off the post. Shots off the post do not count as on goal. This could be a bad giveaway. Dangler down the boards. Gray Dangler. Now Peace. Skips it near point. Charlie Marsh lets go. Broken stick to Buchanan. He can't do much here except play soccer as he advances it for Graham Vanderplug. Slide it inside for Sokol, who sticks it in. 3 forwards change for the Titans. Under 14 minutes to play. Chicago North out in front so far. Will Fagan can't send it in deep. It's past Will Fagan. Michael Niesel, lengthy shot saved by Bunnell for a whistle. Been very impressed with how Isaac Bunnell has settled into this game. See, almost, I don't want to say nervous on the first couple of chances in that first period, but his rebound control just wasn't exactly there. But since then, he's been very agile with his glove, and whistle has to be called, not only because Ian Donahoe's helmet's off, but there was a reason to that. Elbowing is called on Asher Vanderplug, and Chicago North will get their first look on the power play. A power play that they really don't get often. They don't draw too many penalties over in the North Central Division. 22% still, but only on 5 power play goals spread out among 5 different Chicago North skaters. Nobody's got more than 1. The 2 captains out there, and they'll work the point here. Donahoe at the left point, Roganovich at the right. Roganovich holds off the opening face-off win. Marsh left open. Charlie Marsh unwinds. Save. The rebound's there back door for Bergstrom, who almost had his second of the game. Roganovich winds one up center. Blue line. That's a tough shot blocked by Jonah Weiss, who falls down to the ice. Weiss is battling pain. Donahoe unleashes a shot. Saved by Bunnell. The rebound not there for long. Not an easy shot to see till the last second for Bunnell. Gets a sip of his water there. Glenbrook South's penalty kill, second worst in the SHL. Something they like to touch up on, but still plenty of time in the season to do such. Donahoe swerves away from Grant Vanderplug. He's got good reach. We'll swing it around the boards. Roganovich, a good effort to hold. This could turn into something. It's Sullivan, high slot. Left back behind, Roganovich has Makrulis on his tail now. This creates space in the slot. Bergstrom goes to the side for now. It's Donahoe. He'll pull the trigger. It got deflected and slowed down. Up to the point, held in by Roganovich. And back down the boards. Max Bergstrom. Donahoe has to track out. It's like he's got a cape on his jersey. Blowing in the wind here for a second. He's just able to move that fast. Donahoe's pass is intercepted by Graham Vanderplug and cleared out of there. With just above 20 left on the power play. Charlie Marsh is down below his own net. One last rush in hand for North. Sapola goes across for Will. In and around. Sapola chasing after Fagan. Now Weiss swings it around the boards. Niesel, as we're back to even strength. GBS kills off the first power play opportunity for North, and now it's a 2-on-0. Weiss scores! Quick developing off the successful penalty kill, and this ball game is tied with 11:21 to go in the second. Immediate numbers out of the gate, and a great job at the end there. Weiss is able to spread out. Check it out one more time from this angle. A great advancing play. Kosmeter backhand, and look how far Weiss is able to get from Kosmeter, really making Dumbledinger move.
22, 721.
Clean face-off win by South, who has now tied the game at 1. Bergstrom looks to go up the boards. Asher Vanderplug takes back. If you're the Titans, are hoping this goal is the one that starts the party. A team that's just simply better on paper, but a great fight from Chicago North so far. And Mendoza trying to say, I flicked that down in the ice, didn't pat it ahead, but I have to say it's a pretty textbook hand pass call. Got Aiden Harrington saying, how good was Prep back in the day? I do recognize that name. I know you used to play Notre Dame. Not sure if you still do, but man, you talk about Prep back in the day. I could talk for a while. I have a lot of childhood buddies who played for Prep. Still my rival, but man, they were good. Especially that 2023 year. They beat the Chicago North team in overtime at the United Center. Mendoza tries to fire a shot. That year that Prep won, that was actually before I got to work with SHL Network at the UC. I was just a fan that year. But yeah, they're pretty darn good. A lot of those guys playing high-level ACHA now. Gil Bellina looks to slide it across. Good recovery by Luke Fagan. He goes in between the legs now. Bergstrom. He's holding on to a stick. That's a smart play, by the way, from Zach Boris to let go of his stick, because you could tell North was trying to draw a hooking. Did not get it. Graham Vanderplug the other way. In front, and Luke Fagan curled away. Boris now covering that spot. Has it taken away. Here comes Bergstrom. He's got the only Chicago North goal. North changes 4 of 5 here. Parada's the only one who stays out. It falls all the way through to Dumbledinger, who hangs on for a whistle. 9:40 to go. Very close to the halfway point here in Skokie. Got nice work, boys, from K-Dub. That was a very nice team effort goal, if you're referring to that. Definition of turning a penalty kill unsuccessful into momentum. Delayed penalty, and it's going to be GBS on the power play this time. First time in this one. They're sending Charlie Marsh now for an elbow. 2 elbowing calls. Not something you often see twice in a game. And high hits could very much be the death of one team or another in a tight game like this. So Marsh to the box. GBS, their first power play of the game. Only 7 power play goals in SHL play. Down the boards, Weiss forks it back up. Chicago North, not the prettiest penalty kill. And North Central plays 74.2% with 8 power play goals allowed. And they're facing a different beast of a team, really, as is, from the SHL. Asher Vanderplug opens up, goes across. Kosmeter had an open net to shoot at. Oh boy, he's gonna want that one back. Mulvey recollects, goes across. One-timer Will Fagan off the side of the net. Good play, Asher Vanderplug. High slot, Fagan looking back. It gets deflected just beyond reach for Asher. The alternate captain, Asher Vanderplug, takes it back here. Far circle, fires one, and that's denied by Dummeldinger. To the appraisal, allowed appraisal from the Chicago North bench. Will Fagan unwinds, wide of the net. Mulvey is able to take back. This has been an incredible possession. Might pay off here. With under 50 on the power play, it's Will Fagan this time. And eventually out. Kosmeter has that one skip over the stick of Will Fagan. Before Kosmeter is able to regain for just a moment. Sticks it down the boards. Now Weiss on a centering feed. Pinballs up to the point for Mulvey. Back for Weiss. Fanned on his pass, but it kind of worked out. As it's taken back in by Kosmeter. Working to keep it below the blue line. Asher Vanderplug gets his body in the way. Kicks it to his stick. And Dangler's all over him. Finally cleared out manually by Chicago North. Ian Donahoe stays on. The other three killers for Chicago North change. And now we're back to even strength. But nothing to hang your heads about there for South, other than the fact that he didn't score all over it. And look what it turns into yet again. Another chance out of one side for special teams ending. Bogdanovich now on the skates of Bergstrom. McCrulis regains. Graham Vanderplug just out of reach for Zach Boris. Boris. Pinto from the point. Save Dummeldinger. Rebound right there for Graham Vanderplug. Pinto recollects. We'll have a second take. And that time it's blocked by the body of Bergstrom. Spin around shot goes wide. Now Pinto near side. Hits a body and goes out of play. Here's a look at that early chance on the power play. You see it up there, just still a minute and a half left. This was quite a while ago, and Kosmeter wide open. Just couldn't hang on. Nonetheless, a great feed. Sokol draws it back, but Mendoza has to come in. Can't get there in time. That puck's going to get slowed down, no icing. The story of the late goings of the second period. Plenty of snow on or right in front of the benches, with all the changes being made in a fast-paced game like this. Marsh goes ahead, and now here comes Peace. Right side of the ice. Mendoza shadowing him all over him. Niesel recollects for Chicago North. Zips it around the wall. Jackson Ventura, the senior. Into the zone. Rifles one over the crossbar. Mendoza trying to hold is now pummeled against his own bench. It is still over the blue line here, and Ventura is ran over by Charlie Marsh. That was the best hit of the game from either side, and now a reverse. Fagan going for bodies. Nobody's safe out here right now. Will Fagan over the blue line. They're going to call it offsides on the far side. There was no way it was Asher Vanderplug. So we'll go out between the blue lines with 5:06 to play in the second period. South trying to finish the Friday 2-0, and Chicago North looking to get back to even in each team's second game of the O'Grady tournament. Wilk can't hang on, but here's Bogdanovich recollecting. He'll shoot it towards. Good defensive stick in front. Poked out to the blue line. Could be a chance the other way. Asher Vanderplug on his high horse to the puck. He'll have to forecheck for now. Vanderplug with a hard hit. No call made. I think Vanderplug thought he was getting a call. But really no complaints from either side. Just kind of an awkward positioning towards the boards and what could have very much been called a boarding. But Asher Vanderplug lives to see another day, and he'll zip it out of the zone for his buddy Ryan Mulvey. Jonathan Parada swings it back up the far side boards. And now around to the near side. Pinto from the point. Nice deflection. Just wide of the net by Jonah Weiss, but you love the idea. And it's now skipped across to the near circle. Cosmeter working up top and just traces out of the zone. Right through the center now. Weiss works it to his forehand and zips it wide. Cosmeter leaves it. Asher Vanderplug goes across. Ryan Mulvey has a lane, fires. That eventually took a deflection, it appeared. Cosmeter settles it down, finds Asher Vanderplug on the backhand, hesitating and sliding it wide. 2-on-2 the other direction. Some tired North skaters trying to finish out strong. They'll just chip in. 4 of 5 on the change for Shy North. Now McCrulis has space. Will take things from his own end. There's definitely a lot of room to work in the neutral zone in the process of that change, but GBS taking their time here. Nothing wrong with that. Boris swings it towards. Down below the net, Graham Vanderplug. Gilbolino. Indeed. Pinto now down below his own net. Slips past the stick of Dukowicz, no icing. McCrulis, well aware, will battle for it down below the goal line. Now forehanded up near the blue line, but it hits something on the way. Very hard to tell down against these near side boards from a vantage point not too high here in Skokie. Sure, you folks even on the screen couldn't really see where it went. Would have to assume it hit off the official, but it's in the pass now. 2:05 to go. Point shot, double dinger, steers it aside. Both goaltenders really not being put to the test here in the first 2 periods. Got the one good chance for either side, a couple of good saves otherwise, but nothing that screams scoring chance really other than the goals. Asher Vanderplug, which is not a diss to the offense, is more a compliment to the defense. Is able to slam the door on chances near the beckoning call. Fagan. That's Will Fagan. Mohawking in a circle. Gets it across for Luke Fagan to the side. Vanderplug. Cosmeter drags it wide. Oh, what fluent puck movement, should I say. Pardon me. As Will Fagan has to chip back in. 1:11 and counting now. Ow. That stings for this near side linesman. I know he feels it. Lingering through some pain. And these players, I'm sure, not exactly feeling pain, but feeling just worn out, nearing the end of their 5th period of the day, with the exception of the goalies. Bunnell and Dumbleding playing in their first games today. DeMoss is rocked! Oh my goodness! Will Fagan runs him over. I don't understand what they want a penalty for here.
The clean hit.
Let's check it back. That's clean.
Chest to chest.
That's clean. Look, you folks know me. I'm a very non-biased human being, and I'm very happy that Logan DeMoss is okay. But the screams for a dirty hit, I don't understand it. I mean, it's gotten to the point in really youth hockey or high school hockey where you see just a hard hit and people, one end or the other, just want to call it dirty. It's clean. Take a look back at it in slow-mo when we get a chance at the end of this period, but no penalty is called, and that seems to be the right call. I promise you, not even a biased opinion. I don't know what you folks think. Maybe leave one down in the chat. But I thought that was pretty clean. Will Fagan in front, a chance. Cosmeter. Oh my goodness, Double Dinger kept it out of the net. Couldn't trap it between his legs. And it creates a chance for Donahoe the other direction. He'll pull the trigger, but Nell lets it fall through. And Ian Donahoe is able to break the tie. He just always finds a way onto the score sheet. And Chicago North leads for the second time today, 2-1. Got some shoving at center between Niesel and Tubacanic. And a little physical at the end, but the buzzer will interrupt all that. It is a 2-1 lead for Chicago North, trying to keep their O'Grady Cup hopes alive and avoid any sort of elimination here. We got Niesel and Tubacanic still barking at each other's faces. Nothing else. I wouldn't call it mature acting, but at least mature enough to not throw any hands there. And that's what takes us into the end of the second period. Before we head to break, let's take a look at that hit one more time. I want to see it in very, very slow-mo. Going to see it right here. So there's Tomas going towards the puck, and we'll keep you posted on his well-being. I hope he's all right. There's the hit. I see his head rock, and I get why that might concern a parent, but that was just impact from the check. Nothing looked to have hit his head. In that case, I have to assume it's clean, but that's where we stand for now. It's a 2-1 lead for Chicago North, and while we got the chance here before you leave, make sure you, A, leave something in the chat. Bryce Dickey going, show them the replay. I think I'd get some backlash for that, but maybe they would understand. Keep your head up. I mean, I'm not going to say it, but yeah, I thought it was a clean hit. Anyway, live scores before we go to break. York up on top of Bennett, 3-1. So far there in the second. Got this game, then you've got St. Ignatius up on GBN. And then Neutral Blue trailing to OPRF. That's a 1-0 game over there right now between two 0-1 teams. So we'll get you back in just about 10+ minutes. Your score through 34. Chicago North 2, Glenbrook South 1. We'll see if that changes when we return here on the South Hockey Network.
Remember the shot count in the first period? Baldwin was asking for the shot count.
Oh,
They had 10, 12. It was 15, 13.
First period, I believe it was 11-6 shot. At least on a
You have
run
film?
or
You have film?
Huh?
That's
I do not. Or actually, I think I do.
Text him the first period shots.
What are the game totals now that we have? 15, 13. Am I good? Let me go. Welcome back to Stadium Ice Arena here in Skokie, Illinois. Glenbrook South trailing 2-1 at the moment. North leading 1-0, then 2-1. In between, a goal from Jonah Weiss, but Max Bergstrom and Connor Sullivan have separated away Chicago North with what could be their first win of the O'Grady tournament if they hang on. They had an impressive year in the O'Grady last year, going 2-1 and just a goal away from winning Pool B in the end of things. GBN would go on to lose in the semifinal. The final last year, a 5 OT thriller between St. Ignatius and New Trier. Instant classic. And GBS, who played in an instant classic that they just weren't on the right end of back on Wednesday, trying to get back into their rhythm. It sure looked like it this morning, but right now they find themselves tired. You have to wonder how they're going to try to bounce back. Same goalies as before, doing his dance on the right side. Owen Doubledigger with an impressive start. Isaac Bunnell, not bad at all either. Just that last shot late in the second, slithering by him for what now is a 2-1 North lead. So let's see what happens here in the final frame of regulation. And we'll see if we have to work overtime. Back here on the South Hockey Network. Filling in for Dylan Ward. My name's Luke Jordan. Done a couple of games with you folks in the past, and always a pleasure to do such. That far side linesman, the shorter one, he has just been taken out today. He almost took one right to the ankle there. Ryan Mulvey in on goal. Stick to side. Up top, it is Peace. Down the side, icing's waved off amid some smooth, clean ice out here. Finley Gutierrez tracks back. Weiss all over it. Now skating below his own net for some acceleration is Michael Niesel. Has it intercepted. Cosmeter winds it in. It's past the glove hand of Doubledigger. Got a great matchup coming up next. GBN and York. But that is GBN's VAR 2. I believe, because yes, Green is taking on St. Ignatius right now. Here comes Logan DeMoss. DeMoss, who is back into the game. He was the one who took that hard hit that was deemed controversial, but we saw the replay. We all had our thoughts. Seemed fairly clean in the end of things. We're glad he's all right and ready to go on the other end. Graham Vanderplug for Zach Boris. Out of the zone it goes. Bouncing around in front from the Chicago North bench, and now whistle blow. Face off in front of the North bench. A team that finished third in the North Central last year, currently sixth this year in a very top-heavy North Central division. Yes, that looked to have been Connor Sullivan who took a spill. Laughing it off. With Luke Fagan. As they'll go back into the north end. Sokol taking the face-off against Sullivan, 93-97, and North wins it back. Roganovic goes up the far wall. Pinto having some trouble holding, but eventually does such. And now it's Roganovic out of the zone. Shot like a cannon. Sullivan will take it, try to dance inside. Tubuchanek going the other way. And it's Paretta swinging it through center and all the way down. Been very curious on where the music's been today. Feels very dry in here, especially in between whistles. Just mentioning it on the New Trier broadcast feels like I'm kind of just talking to myself. Saw New Trier and Maine face each other before this one. That was a pretty tight game until halfway through the second. Then Trev started to run away with it, but seems like a very good time of the year for upsets, simply put. in this tournament-style hockey. Very tough to play a full intensity 6 periods in 1 day. Vanderplug in the far corner. Kazimierz ran into the wall. Clean hit though. Mendoza. Braden Mendoza waits, deflected on, and a bad save. Edward Washuk gets it out of there. It's Weiss in. Washuk was lining him up, had the honing device on, but just missed. Vanderplug into the slot past Weiss, handled still by Mulvey. From the point, off the crossbar. Oh my. Would that have changed the narrative of this game? That one hit at the ceiling, right at center. Falls through Weiss, and look at Mulvey. This is going to be a beautiful angle. Right on the bottom of the crossbar, but just not enough to have an angle in. Straight ping and out. Just a centimeter away from a tie game for the second time. And Chicago North on the move the other way. McCrulis now takes over. Teddy McCrulis slides it into the slot. Boris chasing after. Try to play his body to advantage on the far corner. Held in at the point. Will Fagan goes wide of the cage. McCrulis. Now it's Niesel. Past the stick apiece. Will Fagan goes across for Graham Vanderplug. Leaves it behind. McCrulis. Oh my, for his 3rd goal of this day. And it's denied away by Dummeldinger, who might have gotten a piece of it. Nonetheless, a great individual sequence from McCrulis. Just a sophomore, by the way. It's been a very impressive addition to this team. Luke Fagan. Taken away. Jake Peace on a very condensed breakaway. Drops it behind. Niesel wide the cage. Back in. Zach Boris into the slot. Pulls the trigger wide. Luke Fagan, the defenseman's all over the forecheck here. Parada dishes it up the wall. Tubuchanik goes back around. Sokol in the chase. Daniel Sokol takes over. Goes to the blue line. Up to the stick of Fagan, and a blast blocked. Fagan taken away. Here comes Donahoe. Left side, Donahoe with speed, trying to scrape one on. Fagan goes crashing into the net, and that's enough for a whistle. Faceoff will stay in the O-zone for Chicago North. Ian Donahoe wanted to keep playing. And here's a look at that quick opportunity. The drop pass behind, but you got to hit the net there. Flat out over the crossbar. Bouncing puck. Oh my goodness. Dimas nearly had a great chance out in front. Donahoe with an incredible back check. He will race right back into the O-zone. Ian Donahoe looking for his second. Not there. Good save by the right Pat Bonnell. Ventura in on Dummeldinger. It's a battle of backup goalies who have both played impressively well. Tomas looking for Sullivan. He will use his body to his advantage before he's eventually stolen of it by Anthony Pinto, who goes across ice. No icing. Asher Vanderplug goes in to chase on Finley Gutierrez. Pulled ahead, Patrick Wilk. Taken away at the blue line. Gutierrez just slashes it in. Weiss goes falling, still delayed off sides, and if North got a touch of it in the O-zone, it would have been a whistle. But to their fortune, now they walk it in from outside. Wilk has space. Patrick Wilk, sharp angle, and that gets sticked wide of the net. Asher Vanderplug leads it ahead for Jonah Weiss. He'll go across for Kosmeter. Kosmeter has space in the slot. Glove save by Dummeldinger. The rebound's right out in front of the net. Time is running out for Glenbrook South. They've still got 10 minutes and 24 seconds, though. And you look at GBS, they pretty short bench today. running 3 lines of forward, 5 defensemen, it appears. Of course, GBS missing a key piece. Blake Hoffer today. He's not playing. Look forward to hopefully seeing him back. It has really made a role for this top line to step up. Asher Vanderploeg, Owen Cosmeter, Jonah Weiss in there. And a clean face-off win from Vanderploeg as Mendoza has a shot blocked. Icing called with 10:03. Let's see if anything's changed around the tournament. Oh, it has. York's up on Bennett now 4-1. Ignatius is going to walk away from GBN with a win. St. Ignatius, man. November's Wolfpack, always so scary. And New Trier Blue has tied it up with OPRF. Over here, just one bounce could change this game. Washuk hit in his stick. Came loose from his hands. Out in front. And now Luke Fagan. Luke Fagan cuts it to the forehand and will now go chase after it, after an errant pass. Scraped up the far side and out. Recollected Mendoza at his own blue. Makrulis chasing it. Petraka has it taken away by Teddy Makrulis. He'll swing it across near point for Fagan. A rough handle, but he's able to work it down the boards for Boris. Mendoza will hold. Backhands it back down the far side boards. Bergstrom knocked off. He's got the game's opening goal. It's been good pressure from the Titans on this possession. Sliding one towards, it's loose in the slot. Boris gets a stick. Now Makrulis denied by Doubledinger. Oh, he scored! He scored! It fell through! What just happened? Just completely no reaction from Teddy Makrulis. It went right through Owen Doubledinger and the game is tied. I was going down to the monitor to try to clip the replay. And meanwhile, this happened. Teddy Makrulis has got about a good 4 seconds delayed there. My goodness, Teddy Makrulis, his 3rd goal of the day. Unexpected. Mulvey. That hits Sokol. Still got a tie game here. And Chicago North offside. It's Anthony Bertuca on the Chicago North bench in a bit of disbelief. Here's a look from our good old PTZ angle. Just, yeah, fell right through. And I mean, this GBS team has no reaction. They know they have unfinished business. I can't blame them, but man, at least show a smile, right? 8:27 to go in the 3rd period. We're not far from overtime, but we'll cross that bridge if we get there. Here comes Roganovich. Inside now, Peace. Gangler. Asher Vanderploeg takes back. Here comes Vanderploeg. Over the line. Asher Vanderploeg fires one on Doubledinger, and he makes the composed save. See Doubledinger come out to the top of his crease. A swing here with Weiss. And takes that right into the chest. Great job by the backup netminder of North to not cough up a rebound. High into the ceiling for a whistle. As we mentioned, for Chicago North, they need this win to stay alive considering the loss earlier to York. Here's Cosmeter, follows up and a save. Once again from Owen Dummeldinger. Fagan from the blue line, well wide. Cosmeter. Pressure coming from Nolan Dukowitz. Weiss can't stick it down low. Now Fagan works off a couple of checks. Cosmeter far side. Spins off of Dukowitz. Works it up the wall. Luke Fagan has a lane. Shoots. Kick save. The rebound is out in front and absolutely wedged to the netting. Changes from both sides. Now just Weiss trying to get a hang of it, but he was hit as he tried to get something on. Just flicks it out. And honestly, I think this could have came out of the O-zone, but nobody batted an eye. McCrulis out in front. And a good chance, but fanned on it. The other way, Cooper Jurgelit drops it back for Sullivan. Now Boris gets it out of there. The senior goes chasing after with good pressure, but Dukowitz now collects near side. Mulvey banks it off his own net. Don't think that was planned. And now Jurgelit slowly sliding towards the net. Mulvey recollects. McCrulis had it taken away by Jurgelit. Now it's Mendoza with riding pressure from Will. Good play by McCrulis to lead it ahead for Boris. Graham Vanderplug, the sophomore, wrangled down. The other sophomore, McCrulis, tripped up. Delayed hand, shoots in the air. And it's a power play coming. Teddy McCrulis, who just scored the game-tying goal, is the one who draws it. With 6:42 to go. 34, oh my gosh. Great day to speak English and read numbers. There goes GBS on yet another power play try. Penalties on Dukowitz for tripping. Will Fagan turns up on his forehand. Now Asher Vanderplug goes across ice for Ryan Mulvey. Top unit out there for GBS. Trying to break at the tie and get their first lead of the game. The waning moments of this ball game. Here comes the power play breakout. Will Fagan leading the way. Now Ryan Mulvey. Good forecheck from Dangler. It's a reset in their own end. Will Fagan thinks he can beat Sullivan, and does. Rims it around the boards. Charlie Marsh meets Owen Cosmeter. Cosmeter, glued. Dangler comes out. Just barely clears. Sullivan thought about chasing, instead peels off and gets fresh legs out for Chicago North. That's the only change made there, but now a change of possession. Dangler checked into the boards by Ryan Mulvey. Will Fagan, stick lift, and a chance out in front. Now it's Mulvey, back up the wall for Vanderplug. He will zip it across ice over the stick of Cosmeter. .39 seconds left on the power play as we have it up on the rink scoreboard. Bergstrom takes advantage of a risky giveaway. And now it's McCrulis up ahead for Mulvey. In and around. Graham Vanderplug down in the far corner. Runs over Parada. Mulvey, top of the circle, and a good shot block there. That is great work by Jonathan Parada. One last rush here with 15 seconds to go. Mulvey pumps the brakes and will find Luke Fagan. Fagan in and around the wall. Makrulis chasing after Oganovich. Now Makrulis gets a hold, but not for long. Donahue takes away. Freshman to the bench, out of the box, and we're even. A huge kill for a Chicago North penalty killing unit. That has not been the prettiest this season, but they collect it together when it matters most. Boris goes in and around. Niesel, smart play with the body, able to take advantage, and now Peace nearly worked right by Luke Fagan. Luke Fagan now darts over the blue line for the Titans. Fagan had numbers in front. Instead, Mendoza left wide open at the point. Waits a while, finds Fagan, out of play. Still no zone draw coming. What a change from Chicago North. Just one player, it appears, at the moment. And after a bit of a delay from Jim Philbin, the 2022 Illinois High School Hockey Hall of Fame inductee will send out a fresh 5. And no last change from Chicago North. Cosmeter lined up behind Asher Vanderplug, but they cannot win the faceoff. And Finley Gutierrez will bump it up the boards. Interception by Asher Vanderplug. Peace is pressuring. Vanderplug off the wall for Cosmeter. Back for Asher Vanderplug. He's got a chance. Works into the slot. Turns and puts it wide. Gotta get that type of shot on net if you're Asher Vanderplug. But still, a redeeming could be coming. Up the wall. Weiss takes it back. Plays it right through the slot. Vanderplug down low. Cosmeter. Weiss is crashing. Might have had him for a moment. Foreshadowing a little too heavy here. Cosmeter. Far side. Pinto. Saved by Dumbledinger. Just above 3 minutes to go. And our first chance to catch a replay in quite a while. Another point shot. Talked about it on Wednesday. If you listen to the broadcast, I was the second voice on that one. I was talking about how it's so important for this GBS team to utilize the blue line. They did that. They came very close to winning that game. And they were very close to breaking the tie over here. Luke Fagan, got to get rid of it. Now back line for Chicago North. Petraka. Goes up ice, Bergstrom. Taken away, Makrulis. Teddy Makrulis. Now for Zach Boris. Boris nudged around. Good defending by Charlie Marsh. Poked out of the zone by Bergstrom. Bergstrom with a good body play. Washuk taken away, swiped in by Zach Boris. He'll chase after Petraka, lay a hit. Down in front of watching GBN bodies. Bouncing puck now collected by Fagan. Firing in. Petraka. Scrapes it up the boards. Boris has it taken away. Here's a one-on-one. Jacob Sapola going to work here. Sapola still with the puck. My goodness, Will Fagan stuck to him like glue and nearly called for a penalty in the aftermath. Offsides on Chicago North. 1:44 to go. Both sides still have their timeouts, and you wouldn't imagine they would use theirs here, but a thought to keep in mind. And yeah, I thought so, Bryce. That was my worry with these people sitting next to us. Well, I'll try to talk louder. It's Patrick Wilk for Chicago North. Roganovich at the red line. Senior and third-year varsity player banks it off the boards. Mendoza takes back. And now the other way with speed, Jonathan Parada. Parada with speed. He'll leave it behind for Sapola. Donahoe. Asher Vanderplug now. Here's the reminder with 1 minute to go here in regulation. That does not mean the game, but it could be. See if there's any last-minute heroics from either side. Now, don't forget, it's a 3-2-1-0 system here in the O'Grady Cup. So, might see a bit of a more aggressive approach in the final 40 here. Because the most you can win after going past regulation is 2 points. And if you can score here for GBS, you get 3. Here's Weiss to the net. Finds Asher Vanderploeg, who can't settle it down. He'll recollect, fire one on, saved by Doubeldinger as it pings right back out in front. Owen Cosmeter, delayed offsides, they're on now. Here's Weiss, firing over the crossbar. Chicago North wants offsides, it wasn't even close. Will Fagan now, goes down the wall. Played through to the slot, Asher Vanderploeg, he scores! With 2.7 to go, Asher Vanderploeg is the hero, and Glenbrook South with the potential 3 crucial points. And I don't know what the Chicago North parents are looking at. They're onside and they score. It's a no-brainer. Penalty for an unsportsmanlike here on Fagan, but I don't think it'll have much impact. Play back the goal on 25% speed. What a release. Posting in. My gosh. And that is the ballgame. Glenbrook South escapes a big one. Don't let it be deemed a controversial win. The right call from the officials to finish this game. And a huge game-breaking goal from Asher Vanderploeg with 2.7. Glenbrook South will move to 2-0-0. They have 6 points, and in such a deadly division here in Pool D, that 1 point could go the distance. York will play them tomorrow, and that game might decide all fates. Both teams will be 2-0. It seems, as York is finishing it up against Bennett. What a game here from Skokie, Illinois. Gerard Boris, our great producer, as always, on the home stretch here. And it's been a pleasure filling in for Dylan Ward, as it always is, seeing this incredible talent and just determined talent. No quit from this GBS team. Down 2-1, they scored 2 in the end to take this one 3-2. Thanks so much, folks, for tuning in. And don't forget, tomorrow, 2:50 in Wilmette. It is going to be a barn burner, my goodness. Glenbrook South and York for what is most likely a spot in the semifinals come Sunday. And get one more look at me before we leave. Let's check any final chats. AVP. That's this right here on your screen. Bottom left. It's all you need to know. Asher Vanderploeg, the game winner, a 3-2 final score here from the Stadium Ice Arena in Skokie, Illinois. Thanks so much, Gerard, as always. My name's Luke Jordan, signing off. Glenbrook South 3, Chicago North 2. We'll see you tomorrow for a thriller.